Hey everyone, welcome to ShotOfTherapy. I'm Divya, a psychotherapist, and today we are talking about something tender. What it means to set boundaries with emotionally immature parents. Yeah. If this topic makes your chest tighten or your stomach clench a little bit, you're not alone. Let's breathe together into it. Yes, one thing I see often in my work, and have experienced it myself, is this deep inner conflict when it comes to our parents. We love them, we want to be good children, but we also feel drained, dismissed, or even invisible around them. And good children, we can talk about this topic next time, but let's focus on this for now. Emotionally immature parents often struggle to validate your feelings, make everything about themselves, guilt trip you even when you try to create space. They may not scream or rage. Sometimes it's more subtle. It might be like, after all I've done for you, this is how you talk to me? You've changed so much. Why don't you call me like you used to? And here's the truth that many of us carry quietly. Just because someone gave us life doesn't mean they get unrestricted access to it. Setting a boundary doesn't mean we are cutting off from them. It means we are choosing clarity over confusion, self respect over guilt. If you are in a situation where you need to cut off from your parents, speak to your therapist, figure that out. There are many situations that can be the case in. What I'm talking about today is more about, the nuances where you don't completely want to cut off from your parents, but you also don't want to give up on your self-respect. It's like, how do I find that in between balance? That's what we're focusing on today. Setting a boundary doesn't mean we are cutting off, as I said. It can look like not answering every phone call, choosing not to share certain parts of your life, saying, I'm not available for this conversation at the moment. And yes, it's often met with resistance. It's going to come, if you're expecting that when you say, oh, I'm not free to talk to you right now, or if you don't answer every call that your parents make, you're not going to get resistance, you will. Because when you start changing the dance, the other dancer gets confused or angry. It's like, no, but we were used to dancing in this rhythm. I set the rhythm. Now you're changing the rhythm. So they are going to question it. And that's okay. That's what you want to start being okay with and being able to tolerate that. But you don't have to keep shrinking yourself in order to keep the peace. That's what I want you to remember. Here's a little reflection. Think of a recent moment when you felt emotionally small around a parent. What did you need in that moment? What boundary would have helped you feel safer? Just name it. We don't have to do it right away. Even naming it is a beginning. It's like you're allowing yourself to even think that way, that I'm allowing myself to set a boundary with a parent. Many times we don't even allow ourselves to do that in our brains. Forget about actually doing it in person. So first step would be name it. Okay, maybe saying no to this would have helped me feel safer. Or maybe not answering that call this morning when I was having a rough morning would have been helpful. It's like if I didn't answer the call and, managed my emotions on my own rather than expecting that this call would have helped, then that's when you want to be like, yeah, maybe I don't have to answer all calls by my parents. Maybe they don't get me all the time. It's more about, acceptance, but like radically. When we talk about radical acceptance, it's about accepting to stop your own suffering, not because you agree with what the person is doing. So it's like accepting that certain times we might not want to answer their calls because it's not a good time, or we might not get what we are looking for. That might be validation, that might be support or comfort. When we are talking about emotionally immature parents, we are also establishing that they might not be able to give what we need. And there are reasons for it. We can talk more about it in the future if you're interested. Just remember, you're not a bad person for protecting your energy. You're allowed to grow, even if your parents don't understand your growth. Thanks for being here with me. If this episode landed, feel free to share it or let it sit quietly in your heart. See you in the next time. Thank you.